All right, welcome to the 80s Babies conversation. We do apologize for the delay. It is storming, thundering, and lightning, but we are here. GP Slim could not join us tonight because he has an internet and power outage. But I got my girl Katie with me checking in. What's up, Katie?
Hey guys, I haven't been here in a while, but guess what? I've still been tuned in. I've still been listening, and I am here to share some awareness for you today about HIV/AIDS.
And you all see these QR codes. We need you to scan this red one and subscribe. We need you to scan this purple one and submit your anonymous letters. All right, GP Slim said he could not make it. He is sorry, but he's here with us in spirit. And if you are on, go ahead and invite some friends. Join us. We got a good show mapped out for you guys tonight. First and foremost, everybody is talking about Queen Bee. Everybody is talking about Queen Bee and this new album, The Renaissance. Do you think this album is truly a renaissance? Okay.
Well, I personally, and I know that she had record-breaking numbers. I don't know if it was the anticipation because the last album that was dropped was in 2016 with that Lemonade. Of course, we know that one hit really, really hard. I actually love that album, but not as much as when I listen to Renaissance. I believed I like Lemonade more than I like Renaissance. Renaissance gives me almost, if you're like shopping in a Target or some kind of shopping center, that's the kind of music that you would kind of hear in the background type thing. There wasn't a song, and I'm just on song 10 here. There wasn't really a song that really just kind of like stood out to me besides Break My Soul, and that's because it's been on the radio, and my girl Queen Diva, um Big Frida's on there, so, and we love Big Frida, and so that kind of made it, better for me. But I didn't really, it was okay. It's
And
not.
you are breaking my heart and my soul right now because I am totally feeling this album. Like, it's happy.
Yeah,
It's upbeat. It's dance music. I can listen to this while I'm cleaning up. I can
yeah,
listen to this while I'm driving to work. My students would definitely be listening to the Renaissance album in class, the clean version.
yes, the clean.
Because in this album, Beyonce is really feeling herself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it gives me girl power. It gives me confidence. It gives me I love myself. I mean, she sampled Maya Angelou,
Yeah.
Dr. Maya Angelou on this album.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Added her own little poetry in it to finish it. Like, she sampled Grace Jones.
Grace Jones, yes.
No, and then like, it is just very power-esque. And then also, Beyonce is in love with her man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in almost every song, it's like, I love my man, but I'm also happy without my man too. I think it's like, as a women, especially in our age bracket, it's grown and sexy
Mm-hmm.
and it's upbeat, and we need a little bit more happiness in the world. But it's very like, I'm feeling myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am it. And that's all that matters. And nobody can stand in my shoes because I am it. You cannot imitate me. You can't copy me. I'm it. And I think that's something, as women, it's important for us to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the album.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest and say I'm sure it probably crossed a lot of audiences that it needed to cross. Like I said, it wasn't particularly my favorite album from her. My all-time favorite was definitely that Lemonade. So I guess I was kind of looking for that kind of feel. And although she does give you it's feel good music, it just didn't. It was just okay for me. Like, I can't say that it was just horrible, but it wasn't just great. I don't know. It didn't do anything for my soul though.
I think it's but it's good.
Yeah.
So, like, Church Girl, I think, is a favorite for everybody.
Mm-hmm. I did like that.
And Break My Soul, of course, is one of my favorites. Like, that's my new anthem. But I also like Energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my favorites as well.
Yes.
So kudos to Beyonce for coming back after Lemonade. That was a tough album to follow, but she is
It was tough. It was tough. but she still had a her record breaking numbers. It's like she knows when to come out with that album because it's been, God, like what, 6 years, and I didn't realize it. It's so crazy, and then she just almost kind of like Usher. Usher does the same thing. Like he won't do an album for years, and then boom, he'll come out with one.
He'll come out with another one, and it's always like something you can listen to. And I feel that way about this. I listen to it from beginning to end, and I have been listening to it now for about since Saturday. I think I first listened to it Saturday, while I was road tripping, and then I just kept listening. Like, so I'm in the beehive. I'm in the beehive, most definitely. So as women, how do you feel about saying no?
I believe. How many people do we have live right now, Ray?
I'm thinking that we have 10 people on, and if you are on, we need you to hit the subscribe button, and we need you to invite some people.
Yes.
Now we know we're running late, and we apologize for that, but the weather is bad.
Yeah.
So we apologize for that. So invite some people, share this link out, y'all. Help us out. So how do you feel about saying no as a woman?
If you're not comfortable with the situation, you have to be brave enough to say no and actually mean it. Because you don't want to regret that decision later, you know. And I just feel like when we were talking about it off camera, you know, even if it's just well, no, I'm not going to do that, or no, very firmly, it doesn't matter what kind of no it is. No is no is no.
Yes, and I'm so with you, because I feel like a no is a no. If it's a loud no, if it's a soft no, if it's a stop, if it's a I don't think this is a good idea. I feel like a woman's no is a no, and the reason that I'm asking this is because the rapper Mystical was arrested for rape and appeared on First Consequence. So he was in Ascension Parish, Louisiana on Sunday, and it's reported that he is facing felony charges of domestic abuse, strangulation, robbery, as well as misdemeanor charges of criminal damage and false imprisonment. So let's talk about this, because, you know, we live in a time where we got, you know, we have Tinder, we got POF, we have Christian Mingle, we have dating groups on Facebook. You know, people doing their little sneaky links and things like that. But what happens when you get in an environment and it's not going the way you expected, and you say no? What, as women, what can we do? Do you think? What can we do?
Well, just going off of Mystical here. First of all, he was like one of my favorite rappers growing up. So this actually is very heartbreaking to hear that that he's being accused of such horrible allegations. Even back, you know, I was looking at his record. This has been going on since 2010. So naturally, my antennas go up. What is going on here to where his behavior starts to change this way? And I actually had to look up false imprisonment, because I wasn't even sure what that was. That's when you tie somebody up. So you
like a hostage.
Tie somebody up,
like, yeah,
it's their will. Like, what is really going on here? Like, he has me so worried just about his mental health. You're kidnapping people. You have first-degree rape. Now, he did, I will say, Raven, on his behalf, back in 2017, when he did receive a rape charge, those charges were, in fact, dropped in 2019. So,
but in 2003, he pleaded guilty and did 6 years, too.
That's true.
So he keeps having some incidents that are concerning rape. So that concerns me. I'm like, does he have a problem? And I know you're innocent until proven guilty. He has not been found guilty yet, but I'm like, come on, man.
Right. But he worries me. He does. He worries me. And I for women that feel like they're kind of getting themselves in that situation, just try to keep calm, but stay firm at the same time. Like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not comfortable with that. But try not to show too much fear. Always keep something on you. Mace, that 38 Glock, something. Always keep something.
Yes, the 38.
Got to. Yes. Because you just never know, honey. You just never know.
Yes, and somebody saw it said, "Don't make me at 38 before I mess around and be on the first 48." So you got to keep something with you, ladies.
Yeah.
They look. I mean, we have to arm ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. But most of all, Katie, I'm sorry. I just have to say it. I'm not putting myself in a situation where I don't feel safe.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it's not okay for me to go out on that date from Tinder. And then also as women, I feel like we have intuition. If it don't feel right,
it's usually not.
It's usually not. Exit stage left. You know, be in touch with that girlfriend that says, "Kate, I need you to call me every hour."
Yes.
Or share your location with somebody. Do something
permanently,
and let your no be a firm no.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna tell you, you know, when I talk to guys and I go ahead and let them know, like, listen, I'm not with the get down. They just go ahead and stop texting me, and they just go ahead and stop calling, because I just go ahead and let them know up front. Like, I'm not, like, that's not me.
Yeah.
They just go ahead and drop me like I'm hot right there.
Yeah, and that's okay, because at least they know your expectation, and they knew that whatever they thought was going to happen on that first date was definitely not going to transpire after you said it out your mouth. So
yeah, there's nothing you can do. There's no amount of money you can spend. It's just, I don't care how nice this date is.
Yes.
It's not happening. And also, I drive myself so that I have that means to, you know, if I want to exit stage left at the restaurant, I can. Yeah. If I want a date to end at the restaurant or after that movie, it can. I can go home because I don't feel right. And then I'm also, you know, if I'm somewhere, if I decide to go to someone's house, you know, kind of thing, you know, I might text and say, "Katie, I am at such and such house. I just shared my location. I'm getting ready to walk out the door." If Katie calls me in 5 minutes and I'm not out the door, then she need to call 911.
Correct.
It's that simple.
Yeah. And let's not also forget, we think that, you know, rape can take place by somebody we don't know, but it can definitely be people we know. You can get raped by your boyfriend. You can get raped by your husband. You can get raped by your wife, your girlfriend, whomever.
Now, see, that's deep.
That's deep. We don't want to accept that, but I know it's definitely people in the world that I could, you know, that I could say that I have seen, that I have heard them tell me before that I told him no and he still did it anyway. But I said because I love him. I love her.
So as a woman, let's take a stance. Your body is your body.
That's right.
Being in a committed relationship, being in a marriage does not mean you own me.
That's right. If I tell you no and you're my husband, that's still the end of it.
It's a no.
Absolutely.
That's deep.
It is. It is. Tight, but it's right, girl.
Tight, but it's right. And speaking of husbands, there has been a husband all over the media. This husband right here. Nico, his wife came out and said that he has been cheating for 8 years with numerous women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Disgusting.
Disgusting. Sick.
So, and then, you know, I think they renewed their vows. Like, so they did 2 weddings.
They did.
And gorgeous wife, by the way, and gorgeous family.
Yeah.
But I wonder what made her get to this level where she just comes out and say, "My husband has been cheating on me for 8 years and he is buying prostitutes."
Yes. Because let me tell you, I read verbatim her message that she wrote on Instagram, and she sounded like a woman. And then somebody wrote right here, but she kept going back and having children. Well, you know, usually when things like that happen, when people get cheated on, when people are going through domestic violence, they don't usually leave the first time. Most of the time. Now, some people do have enough courage to say, "Okay, I've had a baby by you. This is not working out. I'm done." People have gotten hit one time and have divorced their husband, divorced their wife. But most of the time, domestic violence, cheating, habitual, infidelity, they don't usually leave. Not the first time or the second time or the third or the fourth. They'll stay several times. Until I always tell my friends, you know when you've had enough. You'll know when you had enough. But when I read her message, Raven, she sounded like she had enough.
But to come out like this, I hope she has had enough.
Yes, because you can't go back now.
There's no going back, because now I'm gonna look foolish the next time I'm on the red carpet with him.
Correct.
So I can't go public with something like this and press forward. Like, it's time for a divorce at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Separate yourself from him. But now, being a married couple, I know people say you're single until you're married, but these people are married. And if he has stepped out on his wife numerous times, unprotected, like, you putting your wife at risk. And that's why I say disgusting, because you can have some couth about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You got that wife, that's a whole nother level of a title above all these other women. She should never be put in harm's way or any type of danger when it comes to her marriage. And also, if you read the Instagram post, she said she asked these women to stop contacting her.
Yes.
Please stop sending me videos or information of him cheating, because what he does is no longer of my concern. First of all, none of your trash should ever be swept in front of your front door. As a married person, nothing should come to the house. So I'm like, he total disregard. And then if you're going to cheat and you're a married man, why was no cell phones, no cameras?
Right. Because he knew eventually this stuff was going to hit the fan. And let me tell you something. I'm a fan of Ne-Yo. I love his work.
I'm not.
I love that man's work. I love his swag.
Honestly, he
hurt my feelings to know that it was nasty.
Would I date someone like that? He gives me like,
he's feminine, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a feminine, yeah.
Say that, but that's not my type of man that I would usually be attracted to.
Right. Right.
He's artistic, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Musically inclined, but that's not the type of guy that I would usually gravitate towards.
Right.
However, he trifling.
Yeah.
This is like nasty trifling.
Yes. It's one thing to pay for, like, to have relations, but it's a whole nother level when you pay to have relations unprotectedly.
And all this money, I'm trying to figure out why you got to pay for it.
Right. Because he's Ne-Yo.
Gloria says some ladies do the same thing.
Oh yeah. That's what leads up to, our next topic that we're getting ready to talk about as well. So I'm gonna put a pin in there right there. Put a pin in there, G, right there.
All right, and then it says they get sloppy eventually, and social media gets them caught every time. And
every time.
That word, and people get attached. Mm-hmm. But and if I'm sure that before these women messaged his wife, they said, "I'm gonna tell your wife."
Oh God, they did.
That's that moment where I would have said, "How much do I have to pay for you to shut up?"
Right.
Because at all costs, I have to protect my home.
Yes.
At all costs, I have to protect my home. And he was not doing that. So I'm kind of disappointed in him.
Yeah.
For that. I feel like people should put their homes on the pedestal.
Yes.
People should put their wives on the pedestal. If women are out here doing the same thing, people should put their husbands on the pedestal. Your trash should never get swept in front of your front door. It belongs in the garbage can.
That's right.
Leave it where it is, but it should not come back to the house.
Right.
And I also feel like if you're in a marriage, it shouldn't have been a secret from her. Like, they should have had some type of understanding that, hey, sometimes I go out and do my thing.
Right.
But this does not seem like they had an understanding.
I don't think there was one. No, not by this girl's message and how I perceived it. I said no. She was completely thrown off. And then when she turned around to say, she said something in so many words. She was saying after she found out about the situation, he still wanted to work on things after that. Oh no, sir. Oh no, sir.
He asked her to stay and accept it.
And
she said that was insane. She said to ask me to stay and accept this.
No.
Yes. I want to say she said totally insane. Yeah, absolutely insane. And that is.
It is.
Because this should have been talked about at the prenup.
Right. Can you imagine you thinking you're pretty much in a monogamous relationship and you find out that your husband, your wife, has been sleeping around and paying people, right, to have unprotected sex. And then once you confront them about the situation, they say, well, let's still work on things. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know anybody on this podcast that would agree to be like, well, yeah, I should work on things after you cheated on me the last 8 years when I'm having
let us know, ladies, if your husband did this type of infidelity, would you stay? Like, that's what we want to know, because people in a marriage though, Katie, I must say, because I am divorced and you are married right now, when you take those vows, you say through sickness and death, until death do us part, all that good stuff. I can't even remember the vows, honey. It was so long ago. I can't even remember the vows. But I tell you this, you try to work through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You might say, okay, don't do it anymore. Okay, we're gonna work on this. Let's see what the problem is. Let's see what we can do to better our marriage. So you try to work through things, because it's not peaches and cream all the time. So yes, some women have stayed, but at what point do you say
no more? I say everybody has a different level. Everybody has a different level of enough. They do. Everybody has a different level of enough. I don't even want to know what mine is. I don't even want to know. Just do right by me, Lord.
Just do right by me.
Well, do right by me. I don't even want to know what the level of enough is.
And then it's a thin line between love and hate too.
Oh God, it is.
It's a real thin line, and we saw what Left Eye did. We have seen these Lifetime movies. My dad, God bless the dead, he told me, don't play with people's emotions and don't play with people's money.
That's it.
Keep it honest. I'm not playing with your feelings. I'm being straight up about it. And I'm definitely not going to play with your money, because I'm not trying to be out here rushing myself away because I lied.
Correct.
And played with somebody's feelings. Like, don't do it.
Don't play. Don't play.
And he just nasty.
Yeah.
He nasty. And I pray that the young lady has not been exposed to anything dangerous.
Me either. He disappointed me though. I was very disappointed in Neo. Like, I didn't even want to believe it. Like, before I even read the article, I'm like, maybe this is like, just some like celebrity trash news or whatever. They just trying to, but no, baby, it was several credible news stories that kind of picked this up. So I knew, I'm like, Lord. Yeah. Then when I on Entertainment Tonight, I said, oh, I know it's true now.
And I'm from a generation like that too. I saw my mama put up with my dad. I don't know how she did it, but she's, she hung on in there for a long time. But we are what these women say, no matter what, I'm gonna stand by my husband. That's my husband. I'm not leaving my husband.
Right.
Peace is free.
Cool.
Peace is free. Out the door I go.
Yes, ma'am.
One strike. But
I usually give one get out of jail free card.
But I tell you what though, think about that thing before you say I do. It only costs about $86 to get married. But baby, you gotta pay to get out.
A couple of $100.
So I need it could be more than that. I'm trying to
say that's the base. That's the base price.
Yeah, I'm trying to
don't have assets together.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it's expensive to get out that thing.
Yeah.
So make sure you think twice and make sure you get in there with the right one before you get in there.
Yeah. But I feel a piece of me probably knew that, that's what come with the territory of dating a Neo or Chris Brown. They're gonna have women just falling all over them and falling into their laps. But I think to that part right there, that unprotected sex part, I think that's what she just couldn't digest.
And a lot of people are saying that this comes with the territory of marrying a wealthy man.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for me to live comfortably, if I got to put up with you dogging me out, I don't know if that's a sacrifice I'm going to make. If I got to put up with you, put me at risk of all these bad pH balances, STDs,
that's right,
infections, and all these other, baby, going on, I can get my own coins because it's not worth it. That was sloppy and that was disgusting what he did. And his wife is going I wouldn't have put it on Front Street like that. I just would have exited quietly.
Yeah, I would have too.
And went on about my business. Like, I wouldn't have put it out there like that. I would have just left him and been done with it. And I hope she signed a good prenup.
She probably did. I feel like if she wrote that up there, she would have had to. Because she knew the meat was gonna eat that alive.
And she need to save the videos for court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But your sister girl couldn't take no more.
And Janet said, broke men do it too. I know.
Oh, Lord. How your pockets toe off and you still acting crazy?
Acting a nut.
Lord have mercy. No, ma'am.
All right, so still juicing up our big topic for tonight. Does your partner's sexual history matter?
Oh, I got to hear from the audience on this one. I have got to hear from you.
Do you care about how many sex partners they had before you?
Do you care?
Do you care about how many times they had an STD? Do you ask to see their medical records?
Y'all chime in.
Now, personally, I don't ask how many people have you slept with, but I want to see that you got tested.
Yes.
I want you to screen, because if you have my chart, I know with Piedmont they have my chart. So if you go get tested in the Piedmont network, they send the results to your my chart.
Yes.
I want to see your my chart.
Yes. Now I just recently, because I'm expecting, naturally they do all of those kinds of tests, and mine was on LabCorp, the LabCorp app. So I could easily pull mine up right now. But do you know your status currently? Like, have you gotten a test either as of 2022 or 2021? Do you even know your status?
But see, here's the thing. Like, so when you go ask for a STD test, they're testing you for like basic common STDs, like gonorrhea, chlamydia, stuff like that, trichomoniasis. You got to request those other tests. And I think it's called a panel. You want a full panel. You got to request these other tests.
Yeah.
And I need you to show your proof.
Yes. If you are,
because if we start out clean, we need to end clean.
That's right.
If not, it's going down.
Yes. Even I will say this. I feel like if you are like sexually active, and this goes for my older people too. Y'all know who y'all are on here on the live. I feel like you should definitely get a test. I feel like minimum at least once a year.
Even the married people.
Even the married people, once a year.
Request the test.
At least. Just to make sure. Because, well, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
We don't want any surprises.
Right. That's exactly right.
And I feel like we need to know where we stand, and we need to know where we are. And as women, we're just sensitive creatures anyway. Changing our soaps, changing the laundry detergent, him not brushing his teeth before he handles the business can cause some problems down there.
Yes, it can.
So, we need to know where we stand.
That's right.
Quite often. But if you out here engaging in risky behavior, you need to know you stand all the time.
You do. If you have multiple partners currently, like, it'd be different if you just, even if you have one, I still want you to do it. But if you have a couple of, little guy friends, you got a couple of little friend girls that you're talking to, you need to be getting tested. Definitely. I highly recommend that you get tested. Even if you feel okay. Because let me tell you, that HPV that was going around that they're making like the little preteen kids get that are 12 and 13 years old, making them getting the vaccines. The reason why, because it's one of the mildest types of STD. You don't even know you have it. Men don't even know they have it. Women, they kind of have mild symptoms, but most men don't even know they have it. You can be walking around with HPV right now, you wouldn't even know it.
And stop cutting the lights off. Inspect the toolbox before you pick the tool. See, look.
Indeed.
Look. And I hope we're not getting to that point in time where people don't care about about their own health enough to question people.
Yes.
And to inspect.
Yes. And it's tough on our community. I don't know why we're not comfortable saying anything, but sometimes we gotta step out of our comfort zone. I know that's not the ideal thing to be like, well, hey, what's your status? I don't want you to say it that abruptly, but kind of ease it into the conversation. Kind of easy, especially if it's somebody that you kind of have interest with, that that you probably want to, have relations with later on down the road. You got to kind of ease into the
conversation. Because date number 3, you can say, when's the last time you went to the doctor for something?
There you go.
Oh, you did? Did you test it? Can I see your results? I'll show you mine.
Yeah.
Can we go get tested together?
Right.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? It's okay.
It's okay. Because that's what I'm going to do. And if you say no, flag on the plate. What you got to hide? Friend, what you got to hide? Let's go. We got a $35 copay. Let's go. All right, so there is an Instagram model.
This is time for story time.
And this Instagram model, people were saying that she was associated with Chris Brown and Nick Cannon and Chief Keef. And she was a cute little girl, cute little lady. But she has recently tested positive. So let's take a look.
Everyone keeps asking how I got AIDS. I didn't know I had AIDS. I just got sick one day, started fainting, fevers. Then I got really weak, and I was going to the doctors, and no one knew what was wrong. They just kept assuming cancer, cervical cancer, lesions, and then I had some doctors saying, no, you're perfectly fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. But eventually, a doctor was like, did you know you have AIDS? And I'm like, no, because I wasn't getting checked like I should have as much as I was supposed to. So I didn't know. And I lost a lot of weight because I was in the hospital. I don't know what happened. And from losing all that weight, I lost mobility in my legs, so I can't walk or stand right now. But I do my therapy every day, and I do take my pills every day like I'm supposed to. I take 5 pills a day. No, I don't know who gave it to me. So, I just found out recently I didn't have it. They said if I didn't show up when I did, I would have died because my blood count was so low. I was needing blood bags. They was taking bone samples. They were doing a lot because I was so weak. Still so weak. And I think I have wasting syndrome. I'm not anorexic on purpose. But yeah, I hope that answered a bunch of you guys' questions.
Okay, Katie. So now I feel sorry for this young lady.
I do. I've actually been following. I follow her on TikTok, and bless her heart, I want her to get well, and I want her to overcome this so bad. And when you look at her TikToks, Raven, some days like that was a particularly good day right there, where she was able to talk about it and everything like that. But some days she's so weak that she can't talk, she can't walk. One day
she was in a wheelchair. I saw she was in a wheelchair, and she's lost a substantial amount of weight.
Yes, she's very small. She's very fragile. Just looks feeble.
The last thing I read says she has gone blind in her left eye.
That's correct.
She doesn't have control of her bowel movements. Here's the thing. She said she didn't know she had it, that the doctors told her that this has been in her body for 10 years. But she was living her best life.
That's what she said.
So, I mean, how important is it to ask someone their status? How important is it to ask someone to prove their status?
Yes.
How important is it for you just to protect yourself?
Yes. Because AIDS is not what that face that you thought it was. Or I can maybe be able to look at somebody and tell if they're sick. Well, when she was actually well, the girl is drop dead gorgeous.
Yes, gorgeous.
Still pretty. We know she's kind of sick now, but going back and looking through that woman's pictures, that woman is gorgeous. And she would have been the face of HIV/AIDS.
And
There,
so that goes to show us AIDS don't look sick.
it does not look
It can look like a bad chick.
correct.
AIDS can look like a video vixen. AIDS can look like a supermodel.
Sure can.
AIDS can look sick,
Yep.
but not every time.
Not every time. Not every time.
It's more important to get tested regularly.
It is.
So how regular is regularly? Like how often should people be getting tested?
I would think at least annually. I think that's what my mom would say. My mom's a nurse. Yes, you can. You can get it from tattoo places. Seeing that they got it through dental work. I've never seen that where you got it through the dentist office. Now I'd have to go ahead and sue their little socks off.
So once per year, you should at least be getting tested and know your status, and not engaging in risky behaviors.
Yes. And if you are, just protect yourself. That's all you can. If you don't feel like you want to ask him or ask her, that's perfectly fine. Just protect yourself.
Just protect yourself. Absolutely. Because and then guys, brown people. Let's look at the stats.
Let's look.
The stats say we in trouble. All right. So the first one is saying 42% of the 36,801 people from 2019 are African American new HIV diagnosis.
So in 2019, of all the HIV/AIDS cases, 42% of those cases were African Americans, and that was 3 years ago.
All right, 79% were from male to male contact.
Wow.
14% were from heterosexual contact.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it was saying that 11,493 African American men were positive and 3,473 women had it from heterosexual contact. Some people got it from needle use, and we got some others.
Mm-hmm. Now for my gay men, I do wanna say, because your numbers are so high, I have been seeing a commercial, Raven, and I don't know if you remember that medicine, but I can see that they've been advertising a medicine that if you have the HIV/AIDS, this is just this one pill that can help it, pretty much stay leveled out, or it can prevent you from. I think it can prevent you from. Like if you go ahead and get it before you get AIDS or HIV, they say it's supposed to prevent you from that. I think that's what that pill is. Look into that, guys, my gay men. I want y'all to look into that. I really do.
Yeah, because I mean that means something is going on, and our gay friends got to do something. She said it's called PrEP.
PrEP. That's it.
Yeah, look into that.
Yeah, look into that.
Numbers down.
They're trying to help us out here. They're trying to help the gay community, because every time I see the commercial, it looks like, gay couples that are, having fun, interacting. And so I'm like, okay, so I said they're trying to help the gay community to definitely be more aware. And they are. I feel like the community is pretty aware about, that, HIV/AIDS is very prominent, particularly in their community. So yeah, I'm definitely, that was very alarming to hear that that stat was so high with gay men. That hurts me.
And these CDC stats are from 2019, and we got to think about COVID was happening here.
Yes.
So people may not have gotten tested, so these numbers could be off a little bit. So it's saying that an estimated 1.2 million people had HIV. Of those, 479,300 were Black.
It's almost half.
Yeah, 500,000 of them were Black almost.
Mm-hmm.
And out of 100 people, 87 knew their status. Math teacher, what's 87 from 100?
87 from 100, that is 13.
So 87 out of 100 know their status. The other 13 don't. So you count 100 people in the room. 87 of them know their HIV status. And 13 of them don't. But if I have 100 people in the room, 87. It's the number.
Mm-mm.
I mean, just think about it like that. When we start looking at data and statistics and ratio and probability, Is that how you would think of it, math teacher?
That's how I'm thinking of it. 80, that means if you're in a room, 87 people know what's going on with their body. And the other 13 don't, which means those 13 could possibly be carriers.
They just don't know.
13 can multiply by 2, that becomes 26. Then 26 times 2. I will never forget, that was a commercial, Raven. And I don't know if you remember that when they were trying to make awareness to HIV/AIDS, but it started off, it was like almost like a flash mob. It started off with 2 people dancing. And I guess that was supposed to be subliminal for they're having relations. And then those 2 people, when they did like a little snake move, and when they did, 8 people started forming, and then they started dancing and moving, and then it became hundreds of people. So all it takes is those 13 to not know what's going on with their body, and it could easily spread like wildfire.
Easily spread. And then also it's saying out of the 100, for every 100 people overall diagnosed with HIV, 74% received some care. 56 were retained in care, and 61% were virally suppressed. So these numbers,
they're high.
They're high.
They're high in our community. Very high.
They're startling. It means we have to do something.
Yes.
All right. Then we look at it by race. You see, Black people are leading the pack, followed by our Hispanic friends, our white friends, and then our multiracial friends, our Asian friends are coming in. And then our American Indian, Alaska Natives. But, you know, this right here is off the chain.
Off the chain. This is
African Americans at 42%.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. So
I pick up half of the cases of HIV/AIDS. That's crazy.
So what can we do?
Well, number one, if we're gonna have relations,
it gotta be safe.
Gotta be safe. Gotta be safe.
It gotta be safe.
If if you're married to your spouse, your partner, y'all make sure that it stays monogamous if you possibly can. Or at least if you step out, which I don't want you to do, and I do not condone that in no shape, form, or fashion. But if you step out, you make sure that you protect yourself. Period. That's the least you can do.
All right, it says African American people have lower percentages of viral suppression compared to other people with HIV. It also says African American people are disproportionately affected by some other STD, and having another STD increases a person's chance of transmitting HIV. All right, racism, HIV stigma, and homophobia can negatively impact risk-taking behaviors. Knowledge of HIV status, HIV care, and other needed services for many African American people. Brittany says, I think proof is essential. Condoms break, people lie. My mom contracted HIV from a partner she trusted, had been with for years, and knew he was infected. So, Brittany, I agree with you 100%. The proof is essential. And Felicia said we should be getting tested once a year. And we should be asking people to show their, you know your status, show me.
Show me.
And they shouldn't have a problem with showing you. And just to practice that, I make it a habit to go get tested together.
Yeah.
And, because we are affected, a lot of African Americans are affected by poverty. And then we could say access to healthcare and equity in healthcare could be an issue. But guys, on World AIDS Day, it's so many people out here offering the test. And I'm not gonna lie to you. If you have a safe lifestyle, it is still scary.
Still scary.
Sitting there waiting on those rapid test results to come back. And if you have one of those nurses, like, what would you do if your test was positive? And you get to thinking about some things. Then that makes you think about what you're doing. And you need to do better at making sure you protect yourself and make sure that you hold yourself and your partner accountable.
Yes.
All right, for your behaviors.
And I do want to say this, Raven. I will say
She in her boots. I know I was, Brittany. Last year, I think it hasn't been quite a year yet, but almost a year. But it was for World AIDS Day. I went and got tested, and I was sitting there. She was asking me questions while she was waiting on my results to come back. And I was like, well, how do you know that the test is negative? And how do you know the test is positive? And I was asking the lady a whole bunch of questions. But she was like, well, what would you do if you were positive? You know, what do you do? Your life changes. It changes dramatically. And then think about all the people who know and they don't tell people.
That's yes. Because at least I appreciate Miss Gina here. Because Miss Gina said she went back and she contacted all of her previous partners, and she actually said they were all very supportive. And she said they felt bad for her and they got themselves tested. And thus far, all of her partners have been negative. So thank God for that.
Sandra said she would cry. Crying ain't
that would be my initial thought. Then I have to get myself together after that, because crying don't do anything. Just make sure you just have to take care of yourself. Let your former partners know. I don't even know how far back you would have to go, to let people know what was going on.
You need to go back as far as you can, and then also you need to start being honest up front. Like, think about the people who have it right now. They may know they have it, but their family members don't know they have it. Their partners don't know they have it, and they're not telling new people they meet that they have it.
Yes.
Has to see the paperwork, people. I want you to log into your MyChart. Don't even show me a piece of paper. I want to see you log into the MyChart.
Yes.
And let me scroll through the lab results.
Yes.
That's what I want.
I want people to tell people, like, as if you were telling your family that you had cancer. You will usually tell your family that. I want you to be the same way about the HIV/AIDS. And yeah, it may feel shameful, but I feel like you would feel better if people kind of knew. I feel like people would be probably more of an advocate, trying to make sure that you're taking your medicine and making sure you get to the doctor. You'll be surprised who would help you out once you find out what's going on here. And they want to try to nurse you back to health and make sure that you stay healthy. Because let me tell you, AIDS and HIV is no longer a death sentence. Now, Miss Gina here, she just kind of caught hers late, but I believe in my heart if she would have caught it on time, she wouldn't even be going through any of what she's going through now. It's just her blood count, it just gotten super, super low. But if it would have been caught in time, we have enough technology, we have enough medicine, we have enough research in the world that if you
can live,
you can live 30 more years.
And you can slow the spread if you live responsibly.
Yes. Yes.
Medicine has progressed to slow the rates of transmission. Condoms, taking their antiviral meds, keeping viral loads in normal range. Yes, but people have to be honest about it. And I feel like when we sit down with people, we don't ask the right questions. If I ask you, when the last time you got tested? And you say, oh, I got tested last week. But I never asked you what you got tested for. I never asked you to show me. So we have to make sure that we are asking our partners and potential partners the right question, because 42% is high. 100 people in the room and 87 may have AIDS. Think about that the next time you at AIDS. 100 people in the room and 87 may have AIDS. And then out of the 100 people, 13 don't even know their status.
They don't even know.
Math teacher, what's 87 times 3?
87. Oh, Lord, Raven. I'm off. Hold on.
Because if 300 people in the room, when we talk about probability ratios and proportions,
261.
So 300 people in the room,
261
may have HIV. Y'all, that's high. So we have to start doing better. When we look at the probability of a person, when we look at every 100 people having HIV and knowing their status, and then you have 13 that may not know, this is serious. So our theme for tonight was get tested and know your status. Just bringing some HIV and AIDS awareness, because the numbers are striking. And it looks like it's affecting the African American community disproportionately in comparison to other races. So we have some work to do, and we have to make sure that we are safer. Also, if you're on tonight, hit the like button, share this link, and also screenshot this here QR code and subscribe. And we take anonymous letters. You can screenshot that one as well. Katie, what do you want to leave the people with tonight?
I just want to leave the people with just if you, because we're in that generation where it's time to break generational curses. There was a time where we would be ashamed to talk about things like HIV, AIDS, and statuses and stuff, but I don't want you to be scared. I don't want you to be scared. It's okay. And guess what? If that man likes you, if that woman likes you, they'll conform. They might not like it off right away, but if it's somebody that's interested in you and has genuine interest in you, they'll say, okay, well, let's go do that. Let's go get tested. So I don't want you to fear what they're going to say. Just take the risk and see what they say. And if they like you, I promise you, they will actually get tested. Y'all can get tested together,
Have mercy.
Get tested. That's my thing.
And we hope we got y'all attention, because we did spell status wrong. So we hope everybody caught that. But get tested and know your status. And you don't have to be embarrassed. Your health is important. The next person's health is important. We got to protect each other by making sure that we know our statuses and that we use protection. So it's real. AIDS is real. Broke men, rich man, it don't matter. You can't be out here being reckless. Women, we can't be out here being reckless either. All right. Sandra said, do they still use the name HIV and AIDS? Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, as far as I know.
Yes.
Our community might call it something else. They may call it the package or whatever, but the medical terminology would be HIV/AIDS.
So we appreciate y'all for getting on tonight. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Share this live with somebody. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all next time. Good night.